Hi, I'm CJ with Queen Mean Designs, and this is a day in my shop. I needed somewhere to store my extra stickers, and I'm a little strapped for cash right now. So we decided to make something out of recyclable cardboard. I took an old box and some duct tape and some willpower, and now I have a filing cabinet for the time being. It's not the prettiest, but it's gonna get the job done. I've made so many extra stickers getting ready for the Christmas season that I've, stockpiled them up so I'm able to get the orders out quickly, which thankfully Etsy's been able to recognize that I am amazing at shipping so far. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, spill salt, whatever you gotta do to help give me some luck here. I'm hoping to set it up where eventually I'll be able to set it, group the series that each sticker is in together, like the Bone Daddies and the Witch series and all the holiday, the F word, what have you. But it'll also let me separate what stickers still need to be photographed, like these new ones that we're printing out here. So this week I made a couple of new things. I made the cute Charlie Brown tree, which we've had one since my first Christmas with my husband. The never ask what's in the casserole. It's very important and a good tip for future in-laws interaction. And the holly jolly bullshit, just to fill you with Christmas cheer. I was really proud at how the needlepoint came out in the letters and you're still able to read them. It's gonna look really cute on somebody's like classic little cottagecore collection of stickers. Delicately, there we go. And each little individual leaf is still on there. It's a little hard to see on this one. But the good news this week is we accomplished one of our goals and we figured out how to print a sticker sheet. So right now we're printing the ninja bread, as you can see here, in my little 1x1 square. They're just a couple of ninja bread bros that are trying out their different candy cane techniques. Now you'll remember we did the practice one, the girl power with the generic font, and it wasn't laminated. Okay, we took what we can to learn from that. Then we had the ninja bread bros, all doing really cool, like classic 70s kung fu movie poses. And then there's my new one that I'm really proud of, the conversation hearts, the candy hearts. There's 6 that are good and 6 that are not so gentle in telling you that they're not so good. But I put the really pretty rainbow laminate over the top, so as the light hits it, it's gonna have this really nice rainbow reflection to it. And I'm hoping to make some more for the Valentine's season coming up in February. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas on what you want to see. So after printing and getting the little shop clutter out of the way, it's time to do a warm-up sketch. And this is a notebook I pulled out of storage, so it's a little beat up, but we still love it. It's got paper, so it's good to go. I do 30-second poses on an automatic timer, and it allows for me to kind of warm up my joints and try to remember everything I remember from college where I took some drawing classes back in the day. And today I went for another pose, dynamic poses, and so many of them had their arms out in various ways that it's just T-posing practice, really. But you gotta play the hand you're dealt when it comes to these fast poses. So after the 30 seconds on each, I like to go back and do a bold outline and their skeletal structure and kind of play with how the light would hit them. And it's another practice on shading and thinking in 3 dimensions while drawing. You can see the ink pen coming in now for the skeletal structure. And I really liked the contrast of the pink on the bodies. I might use that in a sticker. It reminded me of those, do you remember those glitch drawings that were really popular a while back? The red and the blue kind of glitching out. We should bring that back. Now that we're all warmed up, it's time to clean up. Get to work. And that means brainstorming. So again, we've got my huge Canson mixed media pad, my 14x17. I really, really love it because I love working big. I'm kind of flipping to one that has a little bit of doodles in the corner, just ignore that. They can't all be full. And this is where I'm gonna make the best Valentine's sticker idea ever once I think of it. In the meantime, let's not panic. Remember our roots. And brainstorm. So you always have to start with your big brain in the middle. Valentine's, that's our main goal. What does Valentine's mean to us? Word association, what comes to your head? The word vomit comes out a little bit, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, Valentine cards. Great, now I have an idea. And I'm gonna start sketching the most heartfelt response I can think. Darling, I love you so much. I am going to pause my game. There's nothing more truer. So I start sketching out a classic Super Nintendo controller. And I give it that nice shape. And I'm thinking maybe there's something I can do with the chords, or maybe I can make it into a heart. Maybe it'll be on a rectangle card. I'm on dial-up at this point. So when that happens, I switch to color. And unfortunately, on a SNES controller, the classics are purple, so there's not a lot of color to it. It's gray and purple. I think it's really cool. And being someone that grew up on the Super Nintendo and have bought just about everything you can for it, it would be pretty cool for someone like me to get a card like this. But then I start spitballing, okay, what's a little more modern take of it? We can do a switch. And I start floating around. You know what? Forget it. We're gonna digitize this. We're gonna give it a shot. Here's an animated GIF from Procreate, which really recorded all of my thought process in making the item, and I really love that. I just learned how to do it. And I'm keeping with the classic SNES colors. I've got my logo on the back. I signed it up for next year, so when you send it for Valentine's, your girlfriend will think it's like a year old. I don't know. Girlfriend, boyfriend, friend. I check it over as best I can, plug in the pencil, and I send her off to the printer. So using my Cricut and the Cricut design space, I'm able to print out the design for my card and then place it on my Cricut map. This is something I've recently learned how to do, as we all know, but I think I'm getting pretty good at it. pat myself on the back here. So we load it in, we watch her cut, we pray to all of our gods, alive, dead, everything in between. And you know what? Our sacrifice was not in vain because it did work out. Sometimes you gotta take the easy win. It was an easy shape, it was an easy material. There was only one weird hole that you missed and it doodled in the back, but whatever, man, it's handmade. Sometimes things are just gonna be a little more handmade than you wanted them to be. What's your favorite Valentine that you ever got? I think this would be a good one to get. I'm a little biased myself. I thought this was just cool and I wanted to keep it in the reel to show you. Perfect. Pro tip, if your little spatula isn't working, flip it over and it makes a little ramp, and that's true in Cricut and cooking. For holiday cookies, if you're having trouble, try flipping that spatula over. It might help. I don't know. Sometimes you gotta throw all the spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. So, one of the things I didn't realize was when we drew the cord coming up and meeting at that point at the top, that we would have to fold that really thin piece of cardstock in half for it to cover the ridge of the Valentine. How am I gonna think about that, right? We end up kind of hot fixing it later on by just snipping off some of that excess length. And that way there's only a tiny little bump at the top, but the cord still mirrors front and back. So you do get that illusion that it's one complete unit. You'll see here I'm trying to bend it in half, but it's not worth it. And then I'm like, oh, I'll leave it up and it'll be this cool little, maybe I'll make a heart or something to put on top. No, that'll break up in the envelope. We don't want that. This is the liner, so I was able to cut out the shape of the outline as well as a separate piece, and then I cut it on black cardstock. That way I can save a little bit of printer ink in that process. I might make a smaller one to go inside the card as well, so you don't have to have a gel pen or like a metallic Sharpie to write on the black paper. But you never know, it could be cool. So first step would be to fold the liner in half. Get a nice crisp seam on it. And mise en place. Gotta do everything in order. So I'm doing both of them at the same time. Checking that gauge, and there's that little tongle on top, and it's kind of bothering me again. But it's okay. I don't sweat it. Take a breath. It'll all work out. Using the side of your Cricut spatula as well as a boning tool, a creasing tool. Flat surface, perfect. I don't know if that's its intended purpose, but it worked really well. So, amateur tip for you, because I'm definitely not a pro yet, but amateur tip. I think the line of Valentines that I'm going to come up with are all going to fit in A4s. So this guy, he's a little under 5 inches wide. And about 2.5 tall, 3. That'll fit perfect in an A4 envelope of 4x6. So I think the whole line is going to be just a bit bigger than the little ones you used to get in elementary school, but definitely smaller than a traditional, like, let's say Hallmark card. A4 is just a size of stationery I really like, and I'm able to print a lot more without waste. Another amateur tip, use your junk mail. Don't just throw it out. I use it to protect my cutting boards. My cutting mats, sorry. Learning my terms. rubber cementing the top onto the back. And people have mixed feelings about rubber cement. I like it a lot. I've used it since art school, and I feel really confident in it. What I need to get is a rubber cement pickup. And in the meantime, my fingers and pencil eraser is just gonna have to do. So maybe for Christmas, maybe if I ask Santa and I continue to be good the rest of the year, I can get and splurge on a $2 rubber cement pickup for myself. So after you clean it up a little bit, or a lot of it, the finished product turned out really cool. It was awesome to make something in a single day. In 2 hours, I went from brainstorming an idea to physically having a Valentine in my hand. How cool is that? Like, I live in a time and I have the means in my place to bring my idea out of my head. I think that's awesome. I don't know. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. I appreciate you watching this far, and if you like your own Valentines or stickers or anything that came out of my little head, the link to my Etsy is in the description below, and I'm sure I'll see you around. In the meantime, take care of yourself, hydrate, stay warm or cool depending on where you are, and don't take any wooden nickels because they're not real, I guess. I don't know who would take a wooden one. Anyway. Bye!